Well, Klaus Schwab sure looks like he is enjoying his forced retirement after some very serious allegations against him.
You will eat the bugs. Yum, yum. Adrenochrome so good. Population control. Jawohl, jawohl, jawohl. Thank you for your sacrifice.
As now you're going to be asked to sacrifice that much more, as the World Economic Forum investigated Klaus Schwab, investigated themselves, and their conclusions are very interesting, to say the least here, as now they have two interim heads of the World Economic Forum, and they have already rolled out some insane, crazy policies that Australia is saying automatically we will implement with more taxes, rules, and regulations, specifically against you being able to own cars and your own home and dwelling. As the globalist plot thickens, and it's getting a lot more sinister as there's more taxes, more rules, more regulations for thee, as they get to live in a technocratic singularity where they're literally hinting at living forever. This is what we are going to be discussing here, as they want to be the perpetual technocratic AI singularity gods over all of you, as they want you to be little peasants. And guess what? Slowly and surely, they're getting their agenda as the frogs of freedom and sovereignty are boiling. And a lot of us that are warning you about this are actually getting censored. So subscribe. Click the notification button, as of course this has been an issue very close to me for about 20 years, vast majority of my life. And if you appreciate the hard work and dedication that I have shown to this particular cause of freedom, just clicking the notification button means a lot here. All of this is the World Economic Forum just released a new press release saying that they have investigated themselves and they have investigated Klaus Schwab and they found him completely, absolutely innocent. What a surprise there. Who would have thunked it? Klaus Schwab, totally innocent. As, of course, he was accused of some very serious allegations, specifically when it came to harassing, allegedly, staff there, sending inappropriate messages, lying, and manipulating data for perceived outcomes that would further his agenda, that he would fudge, that he would lie, that he would push the scale down on. Specifically when it came to the United Kingdom, in order to make them look bad after they did Brexit, they wanted to show they had no progress. There was a lot of corruption. There was also a lot of alleged money that was crossing hands in order to have more favorable rankings with this globalist confab type of organization that governments seem to love to follow the whims of. As we have to understand, many governments around the world are greatly influenced, some would say controlled, some would even go as far as to say puppeteered by the World Economic Forum, as a lot of the top banksters, corporatist heads, and government figures are usually its members, and these members do not play around. Now, Klaus Schwab is getting old. He had multiple heart surgeries. This news release of the World Economic Forum investigating the head of the World Economic Forum and finding there's no problems here at all is very rich here. As of course, Klaus Schwab, I mean, this guy represented the true face of what a lot of people saw as an evil villain. As the guy openly talked about that.
It's a chance to look forward to a career of 50 years. And my own opinion, maybe more. You will get some injections and some and so on.
Life extension type of technology that have. Listen, you think stem cells are like advanced and they actually help regenerate your body? Like the stuff that they have, next level type of stuff here. Okay, there's a reason a lot of the top globalists live until they're like 90, 100, because not only do they get just multiple hearts, I think David Rockefeller had like 8 different hearts in his particular body. But more importantly, they are privy to a lot of the kind of secret tech, a lot of the medical advancements that they don't share with the rest of the world here, since they finance and pay for it. And they're like, okay, yeah, we know this helps this and this, but we can't give it to the general public because They come from a notion of there's too many people in this world, we have to depopulate them. And that couldn't be wronger than ever, as we are already dealing with population collapse, which a lot of people believe is deliberate. And I believe it's deliberate. I believe there's an agenda out there that if you're not aware of, you're probably a victim of. And it's a depopulation agenda that has been working incredibly against the people of the world, except for the people in sub-Saharan Africa that are repopulating more than ever. Western world, that are more susceptible to propaganda and World Economic Forum pushes, specifically countries like Australia and Europe. We'll get into them specifically in just a little bit. I'm going to make a separate video about this Elon Musk Tim Pool tweet, and I'll delve into this in a separate video. That's going to be the next video probably after this one. But the World Economic Forum clearing Schwab and appointing their interim co-chairs. Their interim co-chairs are pretty big, important figures, okay? All right, and listen, they hit the ground running, and already they announced a new plan that is going to be going after single-family homes and car ownership. Why? Because they want you to be a slave. They want you to own nothing. They want you to have no privacy. They want you to live in a pod, eat the bugs, and be happier than ever. And you will with the Soma that they give you. Anyway, I don't like Soma. I don't like... If you understand the kind of fictional book reference of what I'm mentioning here, the dystopian fictional book, you appreciate me transitioning this into a promotion to wearechange.shop. So before talking about this plan that they've implemented and that they're going to be rolling out soon for you, we wanted to tell you about ways that you could better yourself. And that's why I created wearechange.shop. I really like wearechange.shop. One of the most kind of underrated supplements that we have on here, magnesium glycinate. I really enjoy magnesium glycinate, especially if I am traveling, especially if I'm dealing with a lack of sleep. If I have a very hard day where I work out a lot and I'm on the computer a lot, I'm like, okay, I'm going to need help sleeping here. I'm like, I'll get the blue blockers, but I'll also get some magnesium glycinate with the last meal of my day. As of course, that helps with athletic performance, quality rest and recovery, and it helps your nervous system. I just typed in magnesium glycinate into Twitter. The first thing that pops up is this thing. That's this post here by The Pass saying, magnesium glycinate is the most underrated health supplement on earth. It supports your heart, strengthens your bones, improves your mood, and helps you sleep deeper. Even experts like Dr. Eric Berg swear by it for calm recovery and focus. Here's how it works, Tread. And then they have the thread here, as a lot of people report how it specifically helps with sleep disorders, muscles, pain, and tension, helps supports your blood vessels, helps cleanse your liver, intestinal tract, helps the adrenals, calms liver spasms and agitations. And again, you should be trying to get your food from your minerals from your food, but lots of food is just absolutely horrible. So I rely on supplementation and just trying to dial in my diet as best as I can. No one will ever have a perfect diet, but you should try to have a perfect diet. Of course, they're making more fake food out there for you to eat. That's disgusting. Bill Gates is already putting an appeal in even all the organic stuff, which is like, really? There's like fake steaks out there, fake watermelons out there. It's disgusting what's happening out there. And a lot of it is happening without our kind of acquiescence, without our kind of participation in it. And it's sick and it's disgusting. That's why I started wearechange.shop. I like my shop. I think it's a great shop. And by supporting it, you support yourself and your own independent health venture. Now, the World Economic Forum also announced today that Larry Fink and Andre Hoffman, a Bilderberg member, are going to be the interim co-chairs of the World Economic Forum. How hunky-dory! Oh, how nice! As the World Economic Forum cleared their founder. Of course, they investigated themselves. No wrongdoing here. There's nothing wrong within our own internal investigation. And now Larry Fink and Andre Hoffman are going to be the ones running the World Economic Forum. Not a surprise here. Not a surprise here, as the head of BlackRock and Roche Holdings really are going to be the front runners. And automatically, as Alex Jones is reporting on this, just one day after BlackRock head Larry Fink took over the WEF, they announced a plan to buy private car ownership and single-family homes. Yep. No surprise here with this type of development here. Here's what Alex Jones had to say about this development here, and then we already see Australia rolling this out. And then this is the plan for Europe, and then once Australia does it, listen, Australia is like the canary in the coal mine for the globalist kind of endeavors. China too, in a way, but China now is kind of like doing its own thing away from the globalists, but they're still kind of following in their kind of footsteps. They're not doing the one-child policy anymore. But that also, it's like, oh yeah, the one-child policy sounds great. Devastating. And I think the Chinese are realizing, yeah, the globalists kind of screwed us over with this one-child policy. They would have had our lunch if it wasn't for that one-child policy in hindsight, to be quite honest with you. But again, the globalists, Rockefeller, Kissinger, opened up China to the world for cheap factory slave labor in exchange for giving up all of our jobs here in America. All those blue-collar, nice jobs, all the economy that was running really well, self-sufficiently. Yeah, the globalists came in. Nixon came in. They're like, yeah, Rockefeller, Kissinger, let's go to China. Let's get those little Chinese guys to be our slaves. That backfired. And they're like, let's make them have one child. That backfired tremendously. As now, a lot of this nonsense isn't working anymore. But again, now we're dealing with our own type of servitude and enslavement. As Australia automatically is like, yeah. Capital gains on private home ownership sounds like a great idea. Evil people that just want to subjugate, control, and tax you to death.
Larry Fink, now the head of the World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum high-level representatives have announced in Europe, in Australia, and in Canada plans to ban the construction of all new single-family homes and put massive taxes on you if you do live by yourself and with a family, as a family. And they're moving to ban all humans owning their own automobiles. Remember Larry Fink and Klaus Schwab all said that a few years ago. We will end up soon, by 2030, you will not have your own car. And we're not going to allow the new building of any single-family homes. And you notice in the Palisades they burned down on purpose.
Yeah, and again, look what happened also in Hawaii. But more importantly, you look at what Elon Musk is rolling out here. Elon Musk is like, oh, you guys will be able to make money off of Teslas that you own and share with everyone. If you look at a lot of what Elon Musk is doing, he's simultaneously warning about this kind of like globalist takeover, but he's also creating the technology that is going to be implemented for it. Not just with satellite internet tech that now there's no escaping connectivity anywhere. That's a big one. That's a very big one for the globalist kind of AI takeover and their just subjugation of humanity, because they want to track, trace, and database. And of course, they can only do that once they have an internet signal everywhere and there's no running away from it. Now, Elon Musk and then the other globalists, a part of the World Economic Forum, are like, yeah, there's traffic. We got to ban private car ownership. We got to make everyone share their cars. And that's the future that we're kind of heading on to. As of course, I just saw people tweet a part of Tesla. Oh, you get to make residual income by letting people borrow your car. And again, it's all about destroying your sense of identity, destroying your sense of ownership over anything. You don't own yourself. You don't own your car. You don't own your home. You are a slave. And that's why BlackRock, that's now propelling and pushing this plan, was one of the biggest homeowners in America. So Alex Jones is completely right here.
Told you it'd be a UN city. They declare an emergency, build giant high-rises, 250 square foot coffin apartments.
Yep, and the people who want to build a small home or want to rebuild their homes that was burnt down, they can't because the permitting process is insane. But guess what? The big developers, they come on into the permitting development, like, oh, boom, we got it. Oh, look, there's some cash fell down here. Huh, convenient. Now we get to build these communistic home units like that were developed by the communist central controllers in my country. If you go to Poland, I grew up in one of these buildings, by the way. You have these huge, disgusting type of communistic forms of infrastructure where it's just blocks upon blocks of government housing living on top of each other. These blockies. And that's the type of life that they want to. Communistic forms of life where government does the housing. But of course, instead of you having your own independent home, your own independent property, you have your little pod. That's what the communists and that's what the central controllers rolled out for you.
It's all been officially announced exactly as I said. That's BlackRock. That's the social credit score. That's the ESG. All of this comes out of them. The vaccine passports, the internet IDs.
Yep. Total control, total information awareness is exactly what they're after. Slate here. Investment firms aren't buying all the homes, but they are buying the most important ones. And that's why I think there hasn't been a housing market crash, because, again, they don't want you owning homes. Who's going to own the homes? BlackRock. BlackRock's going to buy all the homes. You want a home? You got to rent, and you got to pay top notch. Oh, you don't have enough money to rent this home? We have a nice pod for you. We have a nice communistic style building that we just built for you, where you have all these stupid HOA rules and regulations that you have to abide by, and all these rules and penalties that, of course, control the temperature in your room, right? As already thermostats are being digitally controlled by energy companies, and they're turning down your AC. They're turning up. They're turning down your heat when you want it. They're turning down your AC when you want it. That right there is already happening. And that's how they get total control and subjugation of you once you live under these kind of dwellings that are little pods inside of these communistic style huge houses. And again, Australia. Radical push is announced to tax Aussie workers' family homes. Strong arguments for doing so. No, globalist takeover arguments, as of course they're now talking about in Australia, how people should pay capital gains tax on their family homes, quote, in order to tackle the housing crisis. The housing crisis that they caused with their own crazy, insane frickin' policies. They're like, oh yeah, this is great. We're going to make so much money off of stealing money from the general public. Like, we can make $50 billion a year in revenue for your insane state, while making it virtually impossible for people to live inside of their own homes and dwellings. And again, we're living in an economy where you don't own anything. And it's not just homes, and it's not just cars. It's everything.
Remember when we used to own things? Your music lived in your CD case, your photos were printed, your car, your movies, your stuff are yours. Now, you don't own. You access, you subscribe, stream, rent. Even your creativity runs on borrowed platforms. They call it the convenience era. But let's be real, it's the control era, because when you don't own something, you don't make the rules. Miss a payment, it's gone. Change the terms, too bad. Your tools freeze, your files vanish, your account resets. You think you're the user? No, you're the product. And they're selling you back to yourself. That's why in business, in brand, in life, ownership matters. Own your email list, own your systems, own your ideas, because if you don't, someone else will.
Yeah, and look, CDs, video games, all of that. You think about forms of entertainment. You used to have movies. You used to have actual physical copies of everything. You don't have anything anymore. Even books. They're becoming all digital here. As I'm proud to be living in a state like Florida where we're pushing back against a lot of this nonsense. As MTG is talking about abolishing property taxes, the governor of Florida is talking about abolishing all property taxes and is implementing a plan in order to do so. Good. As of course they want more taxes on everything, which is insane. And they're doing it as of course they're literally taxing carbon. And the carbon taxes are just absolutely crazy. As, of course, the price of everything goes up. Everything becomes more expensive. And people are looking around like, oh, no, what's responsible for all this? It's the globalists. As even Germany, they had a very important car industry. But the carbon industry now is destroying them. And now the car companies are like, well, you know what? We're gonna charge you monthly to have heated seats. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. BMW literally was like, yeah, you could for $80 a year, you could have Apple CarPlay. People are like, wait, I bought the car and you want me to rent features from it? Like seated car seat? Are you kidding me? That's where we're going. That's the type of subscription-based type of economy that we're moving towards, which is insane. And this is what they argue, saying, no, there's traffic. Traffic's bad. We got to stop traffic.
We tend to think of in the paradigm of yesterday. So first we would say, here's a car. Let's put an electric engine into it. Oh, let's make this car self-driving. But if it's the same car in a...
let's put the electric vehicle as they cut down on electricity use. As they're telling you in California and in Europe, don't use too much electricity. They don't have air conditioning. More people die from air conditioning, from lack of air conditioning in Europe than they do from firearms here in the United States.
A road that is completely congested. It doesn't matter whether this car is autonomous or electric or whatever, you still don't get anywhere. You just get stuck in traffic. So this is why we talk about mobility, because actually, if you can get people to share a car, you can take out, a lot of cars in the streets. I think it's Singapore where they looked at how they could bring it down to about 40% of the cars if we would use them smarter. And the
Use them smarter. You don't own car. Government own car. You slave. You buy Uber. Uber, by the way, will be autonomous soon. Now, this is just a self-destructive path. And this is what it's meant to be. It's meant to destroy the economy. It's meant to destroy your wealth. It's meant to destroy your ability to be prosperous and to be ownership, because they want to own everything. They want to own your body, too. And they've done it. And that's one of the reasons WeAreChange.shop still exists here. Listen, the plans are crazy. And they're implementing them. And I think we need to speak out against it. If you agree, share this video. Get it out there. I love you guys. Beautiful and amazing human beings. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/WeAreChange.